Hello everyone, welcome to another video. So we are going to go through what we looked at last week and the trades we took. And this right here is a chart of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has been falling as anticipated. And everything is being driven from the war that's happening currently in Iran versus Israel, and the US jumped in earlier on today. So I'm going to just break down the trades that I took, and also maybe you can learn one or two things from them. So currently Bitcoin is close to 98,000. It's entering 98. In fact, it already did, but we had this drop today. But we have been anticipating Bitcoin's move from months ago, So it's just following the trend that has been following. So this is a downward movement of Bitcoin. And if you go to the 1 hour time frame, we're going to see that it's generally a downward trend. And this is how we like to zoom out the market most times. So of course, let's begin with GBPUSD. Let's begin with GBPUSD and see what exactly happened in the, and this is GBPUSD, as you can see. And we had a very successful week last week. Most people made plenty of money. And they're amazing, very amazing trades. So by the way, if you're new to this channel, we have a Telegram group where we share insights. All these trades are shared in Telegram for free. And of course it's open. You can as well also share your setup, and yeah, let's learn how to trade together. So looking at how this chart is, generally, this is GBPUSD, and it started its week from here and then ended this week bearish. And currently, we have market open. We have market open right here. Yeah, and you can see it as gapped. So you can obviously see it on lower time frames. You can see this whole gap because of what's happening in the war areas, Israel versus Iran. So we expect the market to react the same way. So just to break down the trades that we took, some of them have been adjusted because of the different sessions that we had during the week. But I'll try as much as possible to break down exactly what happened. Yeah. So forgive my voice, it's a little bit cold. So I'm in a jump, as you can see, but yeah, I had to do this video. So we had this week open, GBPUSD. We had it open here. This was Monday's open. And of course, we use highs and lows of the week to determine where the week is going to go. So we had this movement to the upside, but then the week started to go bearish from this part, and we had that week drop, and I'm going to explain almost every single trade, the way it played out. Yeah. So for this setup, of course, as you all know, for those who have been on this channel for long, you and I enter these markets on the 15-minute time frames. So if you look closely, you can see that the market had tapped another block. Now, I won't be explaining everything in depth because, yeah, you have to join the Telegram to find out. I want to summarize the video so that it's not so long. So that's interesting to watch, and you move on to another video. So we had confluences up here. We had this order block running through. Some people call the same place had a supply zone. And then, of course, as you know, I find my supply zones on the 1 hour time frame. 15-minute time frame, most times just to take profit, but most times it's the 1 hour time frame. So quite a small trend line. I'll be making a video on how to trade the markets with trend lines very well. But today I'll just be giving you the analysis we had for last week. So we had this sell week. Now last week we didn't have any losses. And if you're not in the Telegram, check for the link in the description. So we had this trade, it was a sell trade, and we reached around 12 pips to target 44 pips, and the market really hit our take profit so fast. Now, this movement happened on Tuesday, and it was simple. This part up here was the order block, then we had the M pattern, and as you all know, I use Trendline so much. We just waited for the break of this trend line to indicate that the market had changed. And we had the retest right there. We had the retest of it. And then we had engulfing to show momentum at a psychological level, and the market just dropped. So we managed the trade. And guys, before I forget, up here, well, we had a very big resistance zone. So I've explained that thing in 2 videos now. If you come to this broker, I'll just explain it again. If you go to the monthly time frame, and you check, you may find out that there is this trend line that I've drawn. It's not because I just read from anywhere. It's because I analyzed another broker, which is capital.com. And you can see if you come to the monthly time frame. Let's go to the weekly. I don't know, they don't display it, but if we go, okay, let's try 6 months. Now, 6 months, you're going to see that this is where that data begins from. And you can see that there are points. This is point A, point B, and point C. And then if you come on to these other brokers, you may find out that they literally they have more data than the other. See, this is where the trend begins from. But if you come to capital.com, this is where the trend begins from, and it's very valid. The market has started to fall from that trend line, and many brokers don't show you this, but when we are doing analysis, we found it out, and that's why we were able to start shorting from here. And for those who use indicators, you may find that in the TDI, there's a big divergence here. So we decided to start shorting the market. So, of course, the market was still giving us buy opportunities, but we knew all the buy opportunities were low probability setups. Yeah. So moving on, can see that we got this sell trade, and we're able to take profit. That was on Tuesday, if I'm not so mistaken. And we have the market touch here. So we'll let the market be. Now, Wednesday comes in, and we have all this movement, and we had buyers. Sorry, we took one loss. So we are trying to buy the market from here because of a trend line, and there's a trend line here. And then the market broke below a trend line, and we missed our sell. We're supposed to have a sell from here, and we missed it, you know. But if we go back, I can try to find that trend line. And it was something like this. We're trying to buy the market. We're trying to buy the market so that we try to follow the trend and try to buy it back to this area, because we weren't sure if the market had begun to fall. But guess what? The market hit our stop loss, and we wanted to take the sell because now it had given so many reasons for the sell. But we happened to miss out on this sell because we weren't on the chart. But Mark got it. Guys in the community, in the private community, got that set up, and we were able to ride it to the downside. Now, if we go back and delete this, the market fell. And at some point, the Tuesday session that I had with the guys in the private chat, we anticipated that this market would give us a pullback so that we showed it, since we wanted to trade in line with the trend. Yeah, but guess what? We drew at trend lines, small trend lines, you know, counter trend lines. And this was the point. Now, this setup here, it's what you traded FOMC. And FOMC was just a break and the retest of that trend line. And guys, I want to show you something of how we traded FOMC. If we go back to Forex Factory, you're going to find out that you're going to find out that interest rates weren't changed for almost 6 months now. So before the news, Trump had said the interest rates, he wasn't expecting them to change. That was a clear fundamental. So if you come to Forex Factory, okay. If you come to Forex Factory, you're going to find out that this was Wednesday, and you can see, let's look for it. We're going to look for just a minute. Now this was Thursday. So we want to get Wednesday, and I'll show you exactly how the news moved. So, okay. This was Thursday, and you can see we have FOMC, and you can see the news wasn't changed. So if we click in here, you're going to see that the interest rates weren't changed for some good time now, you know, since almost December last year. So up to now they aren't changed. So all I had to do is just go back and see what happened at that specific time last month. That was 7th of May, 7th of May. So I went back to the chart and oh, I'm so sorry if you haven't been able to see that screen, but I hope you have. So I went back to 7th of May. You can see down here, I have decided to look for it. I decided to look for 7th of May and I think we're here. So you can see this was FOMC here. This was FOMC. The market just did a flash up. This was FOMC on 7. Market just dropped, it went to the upside. You can see with this candle, there's a weak rejection right here. Went back and later dropped. So what I did, sorry, it's so cold here. So let's go back to FOMC of recent. So what I did for FOMC, which is this, I also waited for the market to push to the upside, and then I got the sell, and yeah, 57 pips in profit. But later on, before even FOMC came in, I had got this sell from here. So when it flashed up, I started more positions, and I went to it. So the market comes back on Thursday and displays such a setup. And what I did is I was trading mostly the break and retest this week, and all I did was trade Trendline. Yeah. And when the market, I had missed this move, but when the market flashed up and came back, took out this resistance here, and came back to this psychological level, I entered this market and traded it. Setup was shared in the Telegram community. You can check for the link in the description. So the market moved up and we got a good 56 pips, but I kept holding till this point, the psychological level. As you know, I trade psychological level. So what happens? The next day, we get the setup. If we draw this trend line like this, this was how the trend line was, taking in this point and this point. And so when the market broke below, it came to this area. Now there's a very nice high demand zone there. So I expected the market, just like how the break and retest is for GU, we have the pattern we look at in GU, whereby we can sense the break and retest. Like you can know that the first one is going to be the fake one and the second one will be the much better one. So we didn't just enter this sell now, waited for this touch for us to sell. So literally, I just decided to buy it in up to this area here, where there are the strong supply zone you can see. So what happened is when it reached here, now this is where we got a lot of confusion in the community, as most people didn't know when to buy, when to sell. But I saw the news coming in at 3:30 Uganda East African time, but that's 8:30 a.m. in New York. So I decided to wait on the news, and when it flashed up, it didn't break above this. It didn't break above that, and I just said it sell from up there. And currently the market has gapped because of the new open. And of course, I expect it to fill this gap and then drop to the downside. But you can't tell where the market is moving. The market has to move, and our only job is to react, Our only job is to react. But I want to trade in line, I want to trade in line with the trend, so I don't want to rush it. I don't normally trade on Monday, but I'm waiting to see what the market has to offer, So looking at gold, I don't know if gold has opened. Market is open. No gap on gold. I'm shocked. No gap on gold. And oil, nothing yet. no market movements on both, but I see the price of XLH that just moved up. Look at that. Look at that. And I expect it to keep continuing to the upside because of the news that's happened. I don't trade gold, but we can use the opportunity of a fundamental to make some money. But I know it's going to stop out so many people because they expect it to be so easy, but I don't expect it to be easy, you know. So Bitcoin is dipping. I expect gold to drop a little bit before going to the upside. Market manipulation. Look at oil. Just bought rapidly. That's a very big candle. Very big candle there. That's oil. You know. Look at gold. So that's market open. So thank you guys for watching this video. We shall be releasing more videos with time, but like the video and share it, and join the community on Telegram. Check the link in the description. And if you want to join the private community, you can send a message to admin on Telegram, and they'll take it through. So thank you for being here, and yeah, it was an amazing session.